Typhoon Wipha, translated as Wipha in Taiwan, that wreaked havoc on both sides of the Taiwan Strait and Hong Kong. Macau and many cities in Guangdong Province issued the highest level of typhoon signals when it passed through Hong Kong, Macau, and Guangdong Province. It was the first time in 2 years that the number 10 hurricane signal was hoisted in Hong Kong and Macau. However, experts pointed out that this was the weakest typhoon in the past 7 years and no serious accidents were caused. A total of 38 people were injured in the two places, and traffic was greatly affected. Nearly 700 flights were delayed. The Hong Kong airport estimated that flight order would not return to normal until this evening, 21st. Wipha passed 50 kilometers away from Hong Kong at noon yesterday. The observatory upgraded the number 9 gale or storm signal to number 10 at 9:20 yesterday morning, which means that the typhoon has sustained wind speeds of 118 kilometers per hour or above. Liang Rongmu, a spokesman for the Hong Kong Meteorological Society who once served as assistant director of the observatory, explained that Wipha was very close to Hong Kong. Chung Chau, one of the hurricane monitoring points, once recorded hurricane winds of more than 100 kilometers per hour and wind force of 12. However, the strongest Iwal only approached Chung Chau and did not affect the urban area. If it had moved slightly north, the damage would have been much greater. This is a good luck. Another good luck is that the strongest wind of Wipha was at 12 noon yesterday, which was different from the morning high tide time, so the flooding was not serious. However, he admitted that the Wipha circulation is smaller and is only at typhoon level, which cannot be compared with the super typhoon Mangkhut in 2018. In addition, its rain belt in the south did not produce a superimposed effect with gale or hurricane, so the power of wind and rain in various districts of Hong Kong is not as good as Mangkhut. The observatory's senior scientific officer, Ms. Li Shuming, emphasized in a radio program this morning that within 7 hours of the number 10 hurricane signal taking effect, hurricane force winds were recorded in many places, including Chung Chau, Waglon Island, Green Island, Tate's Cairn, and Gong Ping, while other areas also generally recorded gale force winds or above. Although Typhoon Wipha is not as strong as the super typhoon Sala that hit Hong Kong 2 years ago, the wind force of the two in Hong Kong is comparable. That being said, Wipha caused less damage than Surakarta. In the day and a half before the observatory canceled all tropical cyclone warning signals at 5:10 a.m. today, most parts of Hong Kong recorded 70 to more than 140 millimeters of rainfall. As of 8 p.m. last night, the authorities received a total of 711 reports of fallen trees and 7 cases of flooding, but no landslides occurred. As for the hospital, as of last night, a total of 33 people went to the emergency room for medical treatment due to injuries during the storm. More special is that the sightseeing boat, Hailong Pearl, is suspected to have dropped anchor under strong winds and drifted with the waves, and stopped after hitting the China Merchants Pier. In addition, a lamppost on the Ting Kau Bridge towards the Tai Lam Tunnel was suspected to have been blown down by strong winds and lay across 3 lanes of the bridge. No one was injured in both accidents. According to the data, during the super typhoon Sola that hit Hong Kong in 2023, the authorities received a total of 1,545 reports of fallen trees, and another 86 citizens were injured during the storm. The biggest impact of Typhoon Wipha on Hong Kong is on sea, land, and air transportation. The Hong Kong Airport Authority said that about 500 flights were canceled yesterday, and it is estimated that about 100,000 people were affected. As the wind weakened, the airport has been guiding passengers all night since last night. As of 6 a.m. this morning, a total of 234 flights took off and landed, carrying about 35,000 passengers. The airport authority expects that 1,076 flights will be handled today to guide passengers, but as the weather continues to be unstable, flights will not resume normal until this evening. Traffic between Hong Kong and mainland China was also disrupted, with the Hong Kong-Macau Bridge and Shenzhen Bay Bridge temporarily closed. The high-speed rail canceled all northbound and southbound services before 3 p.m. yesterday afternoon, and some services were also canceled after 3 p.m., leaving a large number of passengers stranded. The high-speed rail will still have 4 southbound and 4 northbound services canceled today. Macau canceled all tropical cyclone warning signals at 6 a.m. this morning. During the period from 12:30 p.m. to 5 a.m. yesterday, when the number 10 signal was issued, Wipha did not cause much damage to the area, nor did it cause serious flooding. The Civil Protection Center announced that as of last night, a total of 5 people were injured by the typhoon and 161 accident reports were recorded. Another 2 people were prosecuted for walking on the Governor Nobre de Carvalho Bridge, also known as the Macau-Taipa Bridge, named after the Macau Peninsula and Taipa, in violation of the warning prohibiting pedestrians from passing. Typhoon Wipha is the 18th number 10 typhoon signal issued by the Hong Kong Observatory since records began in 1946. It is also one of the few typhoons hoisted in July. The other 2 were the severe Typhoon Vicente in 2012 and the typhoon in 1946. For Macau, Wipha is the earliest number 10 typhoon signal issued since records began in 1968. In Guangdong, Zhuhai, Maoming and Yangjiang were required to issue the highest level of typhoon red warning signal due to the attack of Wipha. Some areas in other cities also needed to issue red alerts. Many weather stations recorded 12 force winds. Many cities implemented the 5 suspensions of suspension of classes, suspension of work, suspension of production, suspension of operations, and suspension of business. Wipha bergerak ke barat daya di sepanjang pesisir provinsi dan Malay Melama Setila Mindarat untuk kedua kalinya sebagai badai tropis yang kuat kekuatan 10 di Pulau Hailing, Yangjiang, Guangdong tadi malam. Li Shuming, Director Ilmiah Senior Observatorium Hong Kong, mengatakan bahwa Wipha diperkirakan akan bergerak ke barat hari ini, melintasi semenanjung Lijo dan menuju Teluk Bibu. Karina Terpengaru Ola Sabuk Hujan yang relevan. Masih akan ada hujan dan badai Peter yang kuat di sepanjang pesisir Guangdong dalam 1 atau 2 hari ke depan. According to a post published by the Hong Kong Fire Services Department on its official social media page, the content clearly pointed out that Wipha is hitting Hong Kong, bringing strong winds and heavy rain, and reminded citizens to continue to take wind protection measures, stay indoors to protect themselves and their families, and keep up with the latest news from the observatory. The post also emphasized, Fire Services Department personnel will continue to stick to their posts, fully protect the safety of citizens, and respond to various emergencies. The strong winds of Wipha uprooted trees in many areas and blew them out of the road, paralyzing the road surface. The multiple on-site photos released with the post truly recorded the actual work of firefighters under the number 10 typhoon signal. One of the pictures showed that firefighters were dealing with a huge fallen tree lying across the road, working hard to clear the roadblocks in the wind and rain to ensure that the road can be restored as soon as possible. At this moment, a man in a dark t-shirt and shorts walked into the calf-high water without hesitation. He did not have any professional tools, but simply bent down and pried the blocked manhole cover with his bare hands, and cleared the surrounding debris in an attempt to dredge the water. From the video and many photos, we can see that he first groped in the water with a black umbrella, then simply put away the umbrella, bent down and cleaned in the rain, squatted down, put his hands into the turbid water, and the mud and water splashed, but he did not seem to care, and focused on dredging the water. Around him, the water surface rippled continuously, suggesting that the rain was still heavy. A blue car can also be vaguely seen parked in the water in the picture. After cleaning one place, the man walked to other places with deeper water and continued to clean up, regardless of wind and rain. According to the original post, this driver brother came from the opposite lane to help, and after clearing the water on his side of the lane, he did not leave immediately, but continued to walk to the opposite side to clear other block channels. This warm-hearted and selfless behavior immediately touched countless netizens.
这台风还是刮倒了几棵树的。